Well, we're about 30 days exactly away from Pennsylvania's primary, and no better guy to talk to about all things primary election. And here we are, midterm election year already, than Chuck Todd from Meet the Press. Thanks so much for making some time
Happy
for
to do
us. Well, as you look at the Pennsylvania landscape, it's a state that seems to get more and more attention nationally. What's jumping out at you this year in Pennsylvania? Do you think Pennsylvanians should be paying closer attention to?
What's interesting about Pennsylvania is that they are, because of this court decision and the redrawing of the congressional map, when you look at the Democrats' battle plan to try to win control of Congress nationally, it essentially goes through, I'd argue, two states, California and Pennsylvania. Between those two states alone, they think they can they need 24 seats total. They think they can get 10 of the 24 potentially just out of those two states. So it's going to be interesting. The governor's race and the Senate race might feel nationally like the second tier story, even though I think down, at home, they're still going to be the front burner, because in the national landscape, what everybody in Washington is focused on is that congressional map. How many seats can Democrats win now that they've sort of gotten it redrawn? And I think that's going to get the lion's share of the money from national donors in particular.
Well, then, should Pennsylvanians see, we already kind of had a teaser with that special election out west. Do you guys...
Special election for the district that no longer exists.
Right, well, that's the thing. That's
politics in 2018, right?
Well, Charlie Dent stepped down this week from a district that no longer exists. There's a question of, will there be a special election or not?
Right,
so should folks look at that, and where you guys are sitting nationally, is there something to look at from that result out west that should make to jump out at people?
Look, I think what jumped out at me, and it's been jumping out at me overall, watching sort of statewide, watching the Pennsylvania Republican Party try to sort of figure out what they are, right? Are they the party of Arlen Specter, Tom Ridge, or are they the party of Donald Trump, Lou Barletta? You got a guy like Pat Toomey, who I think does a good job of trying to straddle both wings of the party, the sort of suburban Republicans in Philly, the rural conservatives in the T. And I think that watching that, and watching that some of those Trump voters clearly decided to vote for the Democrat in the Conor Lamb race. And in fact, we saw it on the ground. We heard people say they're still for Trump, but in this case didn't necessarily trust the Republican as much in that race, or they trusted the Democrat. I mean, it shows you that Democrats do have a path here to win back some of these working class Trump voters. But they got to be careful on some of these culture issues, particularly guns and immigration.
Well, what's interesting, though, is that you just said that the Republicans aren't quite sure where they're going. They won the White House in 2016 in Pennsylvania. So then, considering Trump won Pennsylvania, is Bob Casey and maybe even Governor Wolf somehow sitting comfortably going into this year?
Well, it's interesting. You would think that Trump's victory would have revitalized the idea that, hey, the Republican Party in Pennsylvania can make a comeback here. And Toomey winning the re-election on the heels of that. And in fact, I think he actually overperformed Trump a little bit by the numbers. And so, but I was surprised that you didn't see, I think you have this sort of identity crisis inside the Republican Party. What is it? Who can win? What works in a primary right now in Pennsylvania? I don't know if it works in a general election. And I think that's what has probably scared some of the Tom Ridge wing of the party from saying, hey, maybe Bob Casey is vulnerable in a general election, but can I get through a primary? And the Tom Ridges right now, I don't think could get through a Republican primary in Pennsylvania.
Well, I know you'll be watching all those races, and we will too. So thanks very much for the time. Appreciate it.
You got it.
All right. Take care.